All right, the 17th episode of my advanced English lesson. Always talking about some current events. A lot of the times it's just some fun Guinness World Book records that were broken. But with this week, Sora was launched, or at least revealed, and I focused on that. I showed some of the videos that have been circulating and asked my students about them. So the first part of this lesson will be about this, and you'll learn a lot of technical terms. I'll ask some questions real quickly, but these will be for you to ponder on your own. What is Sora? In the rapidly evolving landscape of artificial intelligence, a groundbreaking development named Sora has emerged, revolutionizing the way we interact with digital content. Sora represents the latest leap in text-to-video AI technology, designed to bridge the gap between written language and visual storytelling. This technology was developed in response to the growing demand for more immersive and accessible content, aiding to transform plain text into engaging video narratives. Some questions to ponder are: what problems does Sora aim to solve in the field of digital content creation? Again, remember, this is advanced English. The answer here, if you wanted to take it directly from here, it says this technology was developed in response to. So that's the problem. We could say basically a growing demand for more immersive and accessible content would be a good answer for that. But this actually is to engage discussion, so we could talk more about that and discuss how Sora might impact content creators, educators, and marketers. There's a large place. We'll get actually more in depth on some of these questions. So I ask these questions before I lead the question on. I want to know what you think. So go ahead and come up with your answers as we continue. The answers to these questions will become more specific. So this is just an open question for my learners. And can you think of a scenario or field where Sora could be particularly beneficial? How would it be used in that context? Again, we'll get more into these questions. These are questions I don't want to lead the answer on. I ask my students, they come up with their answers. They usually cover some of the things that will come up as we continue. So, why was it developed? Sora seeks to democratize content creation, making it possible for individuals and professionals alike to generate high-quality video content from textual descriptions. This innovation opens new horizons for education, entertainment, and marketing, offering a tool that can convey complex ideas, stories, and concepts through visually compelling formats. Some words there. We'll talk about what does it mean to democratize content creation, and how does Sora contribute to this goal? So you see the word democratize, the root word being democracy. Of course, democracy is where like everybody has a vote. In this sense, the word democratize is everybody has the opportunity to use this tool. Of course, that's kind of the objective. It's not available yet. And you can use democratize in this situation. And how does Sora contribute to this goal? Of course, if everyone has access to it, then everyone would have equal abilities to use it in whichever way they deem beneficial. Or, well, yeah, I don't want to go too much. We'll get into these questions. Of course, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty problems, foreseen issues, and all of that. So let's just stick to these questions directly and ask the next one, which is: in what ways could Sora transform educational content delivery? provide specific examples. Again, for me, as you see these pictures, as I've mentioned, I use ChatGPT, DALL-E to produce the pictures. So obviously, in the same way that I am creating pictures, I could create the videos and narrate them. And so I don't even need to do this. I could just plug it all in. I mean, you can see how quickly we move and more input and sitting back and just watching AI do the magic. The next question is, explain how Sora could be a valuable tool in marketing. What advantages does video content have over traditional text? Well, obvious, right? It's going to capture your attention and, I mean, to be able to create this. I mean, the picture, the stuff is amazing. I mean, you look at it, it's like, I've seen that stuff, you know. I have friends who are graphic designers. They, you know, that was supposedly the, you know, what people should do. If you're an artist, it's a great field to go into in university and get a degree in graphic design. And just think about the time and hour and effort it would take to create some of these things. If you've seen them, go ahead, and if you haven't, take a look at what can be done by just texting in. You don't need any technical skills to create amazing, one-of-a-kind video representation, cartoons, real life looking, everything. So anyway, let's continue with this. What does it hope to achieve? The development of Sora is motivated by the desire to enhance user engagement, improve learning outcomes, and provide a platform for creative expression without the need for extensive video production skills or resources. It hopes to achieve a future where the barrier between textual information and visual context is seamlessly blended, allowing for a richer or more interactive user experience. Again, with my students, I focus on the words that they don't know. One of the ones that was common for mine was both seamlessly blended. I like words like these because it's simple words. The word seam is what connects my clothing, right? I have different pieces of cloth, and the seam is that sewn line. And to say seamlessly is like, now in this case, you can see where it ends because the cloth is moving this way and this way. But in a situation where you had the same pattern lined up, you could make a seam where you can't see it, right? So it would be seamlessly blended, right? And blended as like a blender. You make a fruit shake, you put all the things in and blend it up. It's mixing it or combining it. So that's a good combination of words to know and to be able to use. Seamlessly blended. For something to be seamlessly blended is where you're not able to see where it starts or begins or ends, and the new one begins and the old one ends. So I have some questions based on this. Number one, what does it mean for the barrier between textual information and visual content to be seamlessly blended, and how does Sora contribute to the vision? We talked about what seamlessly blended is, and then talk about barriers being walls or borders, something that prevents you from moving from one thing to another. You know, before, you know, you might have a story, a book, you can write something, you can speak about something. We could create audios for books like so easily now, right? Or I'll be doing it soon. We don't have access to it yet, but I mean, I can be talking and just have short clips that go along with it. I mean, people have been doing this for a long time already, but it's just going to make it that much easier for anyone to really be able to do it. Sora seeks to blend text and video content, discuss the implications of this for global communication, considering language barriers and cultural differences. And this one's interesting. Again, most of my students being Chinese and just having the New Year Spring Festival. And last, if you think about last lesson that I had, we were talking about the dragon, right? A dragon is going to look differently based on a cultural views. The Chinese dragon is snake-like with legs and deer antlers, and you know, a Western style European dragon, medieval dragon on a castle, looks more like a dinosaur with wings that can breathe fire. And then like in Thai, we have the Naga, which is legless serpent. But these things are important to think about how they will be depicted differently, and not necessarily. I mean, that can be used as an advantage or disadvantage. I mean, we can relate to people. I noticed one like Harry Potter. They changed, like, there's an English version and an American English version. What was it? The Philosopher's Stone, and then they called it. I don't know which one is English. They said whatever it was. It was like English words, right? But they changed the name of the title, and I think throughout the book, you know, using it, and it's different. So, I mean, again, those are cultural differences, even with the same language, and then also, you know, different to reach a different audience, you might want to create a different image. So how does this play into it? There's you know, it's open for discussion, right? That there are things we need to consider, things we may have not even considered yet. So number 3, let's consider something right here. Consider the potential for misinformation with easier content creation. What measures could be implemented to maintain content integrity? Integrity is a word from last week. It's kind of like wholesome honesty, you know, respecting yourself and what you're creating as being true and you know, holding up to a high standard, all of those things. Misinformation. What is misinformation? Essentially, misinformation is information that's not true. It tends to be I think of misinformation as a lie. It's intentionally not true. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but obviously, if we have high quality AI, we've already been discussing this and realizing the impact, but it just seems like it's closer than it has been. I mean, we could have an uprise of some horrific incident happening, and then turn out that it's AI. But that's not the only thing. There's also plausible deniability, and that's also another thing where, okay, we can there's fake news, that's a problem. Things that didn't really happen, but you know, we convince people that it did happen. And then the other case is something actually did happen, but we question if it did happen because we think, oh, maybe it was AI. That's plausible deniability. Well, that's when a guilty person is able to cast enough doubt that maybe they're not guilty. So it goes both ways. Or I mean, it goes all kinds of directions. The next one, which does, and there was a video on this that I shared. There's a link below, but I'm not going to show that here. And it talks about all of these issues and some other ones. So ethical concerns and challenges. With the advent of Sora, ethical considerations come to the forefront. Issues such as the authenticity of generated content, copyright implications, and the potential for misinformation highlight the need for responsible use and development of AI technologies. Ensuring the integrity of content, protecting intellectual property, and maintaining transparency about AI-generated media are paramount. Again, always using these words that come up from past lessons. Paramount, great thing. We don't always want to just use the word important, critical, key, vital. Those are all important. Paramount, another one to describe important factors. The 3 questions that go with this are: discuss the potential copyright implications of automatically generated content. What solutions can be proposed? Again, this is generally, from what I understand, when AI produces something, it's yours. You have the right to use it. However, if you asked it to use certain things that could have brands, I mean, you know, AI's kind of has a mind of its own. I've produced things that use real emblems or things that look close enough to actual logos. So there are the possibility of those things. Solutions that could be proposed. I mean, I think you could have the same sort of filter that YouTube uses when we upload videos, and it kind of runs through your content and checks it out. I mean, again, you could have AI checking it out, right? I mean, that's the thing. AI will be checking AI probably. So that's one solution. Why is it important to maintain the integrity of content in the age of AI like Sora? again, it actually hasn't changed. It's just that it's rapidly evolving, so we have to really stay up on it. I mean, there's always been the need to maintain, integrity, right? Making textbooks. And I talk to my students, of course, being international, and if you look at a Chinese textbook, it's going to be different than an American textbook, and then even in time, an American textbook in the 50s is going to look different than a modern textbook. I talk about Chinese always they know that Taiwanese textbooks are different. They tell a different story about their history and whatnot. I mean, these are always at play. So it's just on top of the propaganda and just right. I mean, whoever controls those narratives control so much, and this just gives an extra tool. But at the same time, it's kind of less I mean, it's less centralized. It's more decentralized. So it seems like it's just going to be a free for all. But in some ways, I don't know what's better. Is it better to just have a free for all where there's just information overload, or that there's a ministry of truth telling you what is real or not? These are questions, of course, that can lead to great discussions, and I don't think have clear, easy answers. Applications. Sora has vast potential applications, from revolutionizing e-learning by providing educators with tools to create dynamic instructional materials to enabling businesses to produce marketing videos with ease, and empowering storytellers to bring their narratives to life visually. However, as we embrace these applications, it is crucial to navigate the ethical challenges and societal impacts thoughtfully. Again, a few more questions. These are kind of the same questions. By the time we get to this point, based on my student, I would either skip this if we've already answered this, or maybe pick a specific one. But I'll read them real quickly. How can Sora revolutionize e-learning, and what benefits does it offer to educators and students? We mostly focused on the educators, but also as students. I mean, you could create your own material that is helpful for your style of learning. How can Sora be used to ensure inclusivity and diversity in content creation? Kind of talked about that before. I mean, different. I mean, you could have. I mean, again, you can have things tailored to the learner. You could use the same stories that don't matter what cultural context it is, and you can create all the characters to match the people that are watching it, in the case that you want them to, or not. You could make it a variety of things. I mean, it could be easily changed. You could just swap it out quite easily. But do we want to? How much do we want to do? How much do we really want to get involved with that? Again, nowadays, I mean, when you hear things like, I mean, diversity, sometimes it seems like exclusiveness. I mean, it's like, inclusivity is so, I mean, sometimes when we try to do too much and get involved in it. I mean, look at Google AI, whoever wrote the code for that, trying to avoid too much white people, which is actually something I did notice with ChatGPT, because I create images that I want to appeal to my Chinese students, and I would actually have to type something in to make sure that, I do want my characters, not all the time, but I would like certain, if I say, what are you going to do this spring festival holiday, I'd like to have some, Chinese traditional things involved. So it makes sense that you want to have that. You want to have some control over it. But again, you don't want to isolate people. We're trying to globalize some aspect of human relations, and it's good to kind of mix. And I think that's moving forward, that's a tough area. We want to maintain certain cultures and respect them for what they are, and then we also want to integrate them into a broader world culture. And those are all open for discussion. I'm happy to discuss that with anybody on a podcast, but right now I'm not doing that. I am doing this lesson. I'm going to ask that last question, which is, what societal impacts should be considered as Sora becomes more integrated into various industries? I think we've kind of answered all those questions. I'm going to jump on to this one. Again, this is AI generated. The real guy doesn't look like this, but according to AI, this looks like a Danish man. A 39-year-old Danish man achieved an extraordinary Guinness World Record. And wow, nobody caught that the whole week. An extraordinary Guinness World Record title by fitting world records title. Actually, no, that is right. Okay. Anyway, so a 39-year-old Danish man achieved an extraordinary Guinness World Records title by fitting 68 matchsticks into his nostrils, exceeding the previous goal of 45 matchsticks. He found the experience surprisingly painless and credited his large nostrils and stretchy skin as key factors. Not a whole lot of new words necessarily there, but we'll get to them. If you don't know them, you'll see them. The reading comprehension is, how old is the man who set the Guinness World Record? Answer is 39. What record did the man achieve? Most matchsticks fitted in the nostrils. Nostril, literally, that might be a new word, is the hole. So you have two nostrils in your nose. That's basically the nose hole. How many matchsticks did he fit into his nostrils? The answer is 68. What did he say about the experience? It was surprisingly painless. Now I have some synonyms. Extraordinary. Now the word extraordinary is literally extraordinary, but we don't say extraordinary. And it almost, if you say extraordinary, it doesn't mean so ordinary that it's more ordinary than the most ordinary thing. It's actually above and beyond ordinary, which is amazing, or extraordinary, right? We don't really say extraordinary, extraordinary, but that's the root of the word, where it comes from. It means amazing, exceeding. If my student didn't know what exceeding meant, I will let them reread that sentence that had exceeding in it. And it's, he got the record, which was exceeding the previous goal of 45 matchsticks. And that means that it's going beyond, right? It's going beyond the previous goal, or the previous record, actually, probably. Credited, again, I'll let you read that thing. He found that the experience surprisingly painless and credited his large nostrils and stretchy skin. So credited is it would be the opposite of blame, right? Blame would be something, if you had small nostrils or something, then you would blame it for not being able to do it. So acknowledged is going to be credited. The key factors are definitely the important elements of that, right? Key, important, and factor, element. Details, points, and elements are all synonyms with factors, but important is what seals the deal for that one. And then go ahead, let's throw these new vocabulary words into sentences. The charity event was a huge success, exceeding its fundraising target by thousands of dollars. The team's victory was largely credited to the captain's inspiring leadership and strategic thinking. Proper nutrition and regular exercise are key factors in maintaining a healthy lifestyle. The magician's extraordinary performance left the audience in awe with tricks that seemed to defy logic. True or false? The man was under 30 years old. That's false. He was 39. He broke the record by fitting 68 matchsticks in his nostrils. That's true. And he expected the attempt to be painful. True or false? What do you think? This one's tricky. I mean, it's not clear. I would actually say this is false. He expected the attempt to be painful. No, I'm sorry. I would actually kind of say that's true, because he said he found the experience surprisingly painless. And if it's surprisingly painless, that means that you would expect it to be painful. Although it's not directly saying that. That's why I kind of threw this one in there. I think it'd be fair to say he expected the attempt to be painful is kind of true. It sounds like he did expect it to be painful, or at least he expected it to not be painless. So at least some degree of pain. But anyway, this is to open discussion. Up to you what you want to think. Now, again, yeah, I like having I like the discussion, and if a student says one thing or another, I like them defending why they chose that answer. And that's actually more important than answering a question correctly or not, is being able to support your position. and his success was due in part to his small nostrils. Of course, that is false. It would be, again, if he failed, it would have been because of his small nostrils. He had big nostrils and stretchy skin. Go ahead and fill in the blanks with the words that we've learned. A 39-year-old Danish man achieved an extraordinary Guinness World Records title by fitting 68 matchsticks into his nostrils, exceeding the previous goal of 45 matchsticks. He found the experience surprisingly painless and credited his large nostrils and stretchy skin as key factors. And then we've got some fun. I like taking a little break in between. Again, directions are actually very useful sometimes to improve English, and these are always fun. So move 2 matchsticks to create 6 triangles. Overlapping is allowed. No rotating. No rotating, not as a rule, but just to help you. You don't need to rotate them. I'm going to go ahead and do them quickly. You can stop it if you want. I'm going to do all 4 of these kind of quickly. As you see, there are 4 little triangles, and then you still have those big triangles. That's a total of 6 triangles. Again, if you want to solve it, you can pause it. I'm going to just give you the answer right away. Move 1 matchstick to make the equation correct. I did do a recap on some of these. This is the Roman numeral for 7, but that doesn't matter, actually. All we're going to do here is move this up here, and that becomes the square root of 1. The square root of 1 equals 1. And next one is here. We're in that train of thought for Roman numerals. That might help you. Turn these 6 matchsticks into 30 without breaking them, right? There's 6. You can't break them each into 5 pieces. All we'd really have to do is go ahead and make 3 x's. You can take all of those and make 3 x's. Remember, our Roman numerals, x is 10, x is the way to write 30. And the last one right here is actually a 3-part one. I'm going to go quickly here. Move 3 matchsticks to get exactly 3 squares with no unused matchsticks. So to do this, we could bring this one up here, and I could do 2, and I've got 3 squares, but these are unused. But we got 3 moves. So then I'll ask, if you haven't got the answer yet, we need to move 1 to get 3 squares. We have 3 squares, but you can move 1 to get 3 squares with no unused matchsticks. And then the next one is to move 3 more to get 5 squares. Now, if we want 5 squares and we got to move 3, there's several ways we can do it, maybe, but we got to bring them over here, and we're just going to bring into a 4 square. But of course, there's 1 big square on the outside, and then you have the 4 squares, and we're not finished yet. Now move 4 more to get 10 squares. This one, again, no rotating necessary. The same concept as last time. We've got 5 squares there and 5 squares here. There we go. Nicely done. And we're going to move on now. Again, rhyming. Funny, this one can be difficult for some of my students, even though most of these are easy words. Some of them are not, though. So we're rhyming with the word man. Remember, it's going to end at least in the sound of an. In this case, the spelling also is an. So words that rhyme with man. Number 1, the ability to do something. Can. That's easy, right? Metal container for frying. Again, this is kind of it's a weird way. I'm intentionally giving a kind of cryptic definition because they're so easy. And then if they still can't get it, I will give them these 4 examples. I have a picture of it, and then they can usually get that. Okay, a metal container for frying. It's a pan, a cooling mechanism. Something that can help cool you when it's hot. Show you the picture if you don't know. It is a fan, of course. So again, remember, we're rhyming here. Can, pan, fan. Sun darkened skin is a tan. A vehicle that holds more passengers than a car. Truck? First of all, not really. Trucks don't. I mean, they could hold passengers in the back, but a van is the correct answer. And a decision moving forward is a plan. The past tense of fast animal movement. Walked? No. Ran. Prohibited to do something. Prohibited, forbidden, not allowed to do something means there's a ban. You're banned to do it. The last one is to use an app to pay for something, right? If I show you the QR code and I use my phone to do it. What action am I doing? I'm not taking a picture, even though I'm using my camera to scan, right? Scan is what I'm doing there. Scan. Oh, whoa, whoa, what's going on over there? So, scan. There we go. And then now, remember now, I asked, okay, where was the guy from? Some of the students could answer. Maybe you remember, maybe you don't remember. I said he was a Danish man. But what country is he from? Dane? No, the country is Denmark, right? Countries are right. Be right. America, I'm American. I'm from America. My Chinese students are Chinese. They're from China. In Thailand, where I live, Thailand is the country, and Thai is the adjective. It's kind of actually funny. The adjective gets shorter in that case. And for Denmark, the people from Denmark are Danish, or it's the adjective every Danish food, Danish language, and everything, which is interesting. I don't know exactly why. Probably has to do with a root word that's different, but I ask, we've been doing these countries right here: Portugal, Spain, France, and Germany, Poland, Ukraine. We talked about Italy, the UK, Ireland, and Greece. We didn't really talk about these countries there. I asked them which one is Denmark. The correct answer is 3. There's like 400 islands that are part of it. Of course, we've got Norway, Sweden, and Finland up here, and what is that? Must be Belgium and the Netherlands, I believe, are right there. We will probably get into that a little bit more, but I have a question here. Again, this question was not part of the reading. It's just a fun fact. What is unique about about Denmark's flag? It's the oldest national flag still in use. It has a picture of a dragon on it. It changes colors every season, or it's the newest national flag design. The correct answer is A. It's the oldest national flag still in use. It's like 800 years old. Some people are like, oh, I know this flag is older than that. Yeah, but do they still use it to represent their country? No, right? So Denmark is a very old country, and if you have the same flag, it seems like there's some sort of, I mean, I don't know if same bloodline is ruling the country, but there's some pride there. That's pretty special. I think that's pretty cool. And then I asked her, which is the Danish flag? We did this before when we were talking about Poland. This one was Poland, and then remember Indonesia is the one that is like upside down of Poland, or Poland is upside down of Indonesia. This one's Austria over here. We know that it's red and white. It's this flag. There it is. That flag, Denmark, should be recognizable because, well, it's been flying for 800 years. So that's that. And then I ask another fun fact. What is Denmark famous for inventing? I'm sure they've invented many other things, but is it the world's first computer, Lego bricks, potato chips, or the donut? The correct answer is actually the Lego brick, or the Legos, which is pretty cool. Legos are popular around the world. And then I have this fun riddle. How many Lego bricks does it take to finish this castle? Now, I say it's a riddle. It's a trick question. You think, okay, Lego bricks, and then you read the box. It says 4,514 pieces. This is actually generate a lot of things. I want to make sure you can read those big numbers. Sometimes people have problems with reading that. They add an and. There really should be no and. You should just say 4,514. We save the and for like fractions. So a lot of students say 4,514, and some say, well, some of them aren't Lego bricks, they're pieces. This is how many pieces they are. Regardless of all those, I say 1. That's the answer, 1, because the first 4,513 pieces are building it, and it's 1 that finishes it. It only takes 1 Lego block to finish the castle. So that's just a fun little playing around on some words and phrasing. Which of these animals is a national symbol of Denmark? I think I could even say the national symbol, I believe. Polar bear, the lion, the swan, the caterpillar. The correct answer is the swan. Some people said polar bear because they are familiar with one of the territories of Denmark, which is what part of the Arctic region is Danish? And the answer is Greenland. Greenland is a Danish territory, much larger. I talk about global warming, and this ice cap melts. We're going to have trade routes. This, Greenland is going to be a mega powerhouse right there in trade. I mean, they're the deepest into the North Pole, so they're going to have huge advantage in trade, military. Who knows what kind of things are to come if this opens up. And it's not even global warming. I mean, a little global warming. I think they're already. I'm pretty sure Russia and I don't know if Canada might not be doing anything. I mean, they're trying to carve a way out. I mean, to have a little trade route there would be pretty good. Advantage for somebody. So those are those. I'm going to ask you some fun little questions here. These are to be answered quickly. And again, just understand the question. You're looking bird's eye view. You're on top looking down at this pyramid. It's stacked like that. Which one is it? The answer is 4. Next one, these are warm-ups. This one is the each picture. If this is 9 and this is 1, what is this? The answer is 4, right? Based on vertices, right? These little things right here, how many vertices there are. And this last one, I like this one. This one's fun. The last one we have is what's the end of this? What are the next 2 letters in this sequence? O, T, T, F, F, S, S. A lot of people say O. It makes sense. It would be O. We started, right? We don't know where we started. If it was a repetitive pattern, I think that would be fair to say. Again, if that's what they say, I would always make my students argue for their position. But let me give you a clue. You tell me, da-dun-dun, da-dun-dun. Dun 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 dun. So E and N are the next letters. So there we go. That's good. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.